Second position is supposed to be our closest friend on the harmonica. It's usually the first position we're introduced to, rightly or wrongly, and it's the one that we're spending most of our time with. So why is it that people spend years practicing their scales and perfecting their techniques while in second position, and learning the second position songs of the masters, only to find they feel just as uninspired and lost during improv as a beginner does? Well, clearly there's something missing in their relationship with second position. And today I want to highlight something I've found really useful in bringing together all of my abilities, such as they are at this point, into something with some free musical expression to it, and not just recycled riffs or noodling around in scales, both of which are complaints from players of all levels who are struggling to make breakthroughs in improvisation. So this is something that can benefit players of all levels, and it works in every position, and as usual I'm going to try and sell you Harp Guru in the process, so strap in and prepare to have your whole world transformed once again. To start playing in second position, all you need to do is use these holes as your root notes. The 2 draw, 3 blow, 6 blow and 9 blow. Well, that's fine, and you probably already knew that, or so you think. How much time have you spent drilling these? Now this sounds like it's going to be even more boring than scales practice, but just hold on a second. I'm telling you it's not. In fact, I'm telling you that really getting your mind and body familiar with the sound and feel of these notes and exploring the creative opportunities that limiting your options brings you is much more fun than scales, and is in fact much more fun than the uninspired improv you find yourself doing at least some of the time now probably. For what it's worth, I've recorded myself just playing these notes along to a funk backing track. It was fun, and it really is not simple. Once your sense of musicality tries to get involved, you'll either discover that you've got a lot more to learn about where your root notes are all over the harp than you thought you did, or you'll just find yourself playing with a freedom and creativity you didn't realise you had or would be possible with just one note. Now, apart from just being a great shortcut into meaningful improv, even for beginners, this exercise will give you the confidence that so many people lack to move up the harp later on. Many intermediates are still lacking this skill, and it's one of the key dynamic tools which improvisers use. Very simple, but very effective, so get a funky jam track on and show them what you can do with just 3 identical notes. It's probably as interesting as what many people can do with a whole scale. That's step 1. Step 2 is to start adding more notes. Let's add in the 4th and the 5th. Arguably these are the 2 most important notes after the root. The 5th certainly, and the 4th, well, if you're playing over a 12-bar blues progression, it's an obvious choice. So I've recorded myself again, and what I want to emphasise is not my playing ability, certainly not. It's just to help you see that there's music to be made even with just 3 notes. 3 different notes this time, across all the octaves. Again, more fun than practicing scales, and it should get you thinking about the individual relationships between notes with a lot more focus than scales practice will. These little chunks, these shapes, can really lodge themselves in your mind, and when you play with these shapes in mind, and only a few notes coming out of your instrument and into your ears, you give your brain this great opportunity to bring it all together and solidify a visual and audio model. Step 3 is to repeat step 2, but with different chunks of notes. Maybe a major triad all the way over the harp, or maybe a root 5th and flat 7 all the way over the harp. And the more of these little chunks that you practice, the more context you're adding to your full scales. Ultimately, it is the full scale that you want to permit yourself to use. All of this is to help you feel what's going on inside your scales and understand your positions in full. Honestly, when I'm improvising now, I'm seeing these colours and the shapes of the chunks in my mind, and with that, I've got no fear of getting lost in the upper octave. No fear at all. Just consider that. That was a very alien or impossible to imagine idea until I started trying this out. And I want to emphasise this is by no means a golden bullet. I just see it as an ingredient to my ability to improvise that was absolutely missing until I started practicing it. So with this, I've also realised some other things, like how stupid was my previous inhibition to going up the harp during minor blues. And I realised it's because practicing the minor pentatonic scale had this big roadblock in the middle of it where the flat 3 was inaccessible to me, being an overblow. Well, as soon as you're no longer practicing this as one linear scale, but a series of chunks, you realize that that big roadblock is actually just one missing note, and there's a lot more to the minor sound than the flat 3 alone. So if you want to build and strengthen your mental model, both visual and oral, improve your ability to convert ideas into actions on the fly, open up the full range of the harp to all of your existing abilities, unleash your creativity, and add a fun practice to your routine, then I encourage you to give this a try. You can do this without Harp Guru, but do bring some kind of visual element to support your mental model. I've linked some alternative web apps in the description, but if you do want to use Harp Guru's sophisticated layout modeling and unique quiz mode, which I'm now demonstrating, then pop over to the Google or iOS stores and download it now. And if you've benefited from this practice, then please let us know in the comments. And remember to like and subscribe to help me out and to make sure that you don't miss any content. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. You're a legend.